What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I know people are probably like, man, where you been? You haven't posted in so long. And you're probably right. I don't think I've posted since COVID started. And yeah, life gets in the way. I got kids. They're at those years that they're transitioning from kids to teenagers to adults. So, those years you don't want to miss as a parent. And so, unfortunately, things happen, life happens. But I am back. I am back in a fishing vessel. And I still have my solo skiff. And I just wanted to show you all my new ride that I'll be fishing in. So check it out. This is my 2019 Hobie Outback. Got it from a good buddy of mine, Joe. Thank you, Joe. You know who you are. Anyways, he made me a pretty good deal on it. Had a few things wrong, but we got those taken care of, and runs pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup that I have on it from bow to stern. I know people are probably asking, man, since the last time you made a video you were making it on the solo skiff, now you're back in an Outback. Well, I still have the solo skiff over here. I had a motor issue, so I finally actually got it fixed. I just haven't registered it yet, so I haven't been on it. And plus, I have a lot of friends that still own kayaks, and it's easier for me to fish with them on a kayak, so I went ahead and picked up a kayak. So without further ado, here we go from bow to stern. Obviously, the trusty dusty Mirage drive. That's what comes with the kayak. Unfortunately, it's not the kick-up ends, because I think that started in 2020 if I'm not mistaken, and this is a 2019. But either case, still works fine. Inside of here is where I put my battery. But actually this is my battery for my trolling motor that I have on here. I told myself if I were going to get back in a kayak, I would not do it unless I could motorize it. Just being on the solo skiff, using the trolling motor and using the outboard, it was just so cool to get from place to place on the motor, and then when you get to the place, using the trolling motor to move around. Same concept here, just a little less range. Use the trolling motor to get to your spot, move around with the pedal drive, which gets you very, very shallow. Then when the day's over, you get back on the trolling motor and motor back to the launch. So that's the idea here. So have a 30 amp hour battery in here right now, I think. 40 amp hour, sorry, but I do have a 100 amp hour battery that I use also. Both of those are lithium. I have the Bending Branches Angler Ace paddle, which I've had for a while. Very good paddle. And I have the Garmin, I want to say this is the Echo 73 UHD touchscreen, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. Either way, works just fine, does what it needed to do. Keep my little cutting scissors here in one pocket, as well as my pliers. What are these, Rapala? So these are what I use to unhook the fish and cut line. Let's see, let's move the drive back up here up front. Coming around here, I got this from a wade fishing setup. Actually, I bought the little device at Anglers Anonymous a couple years ago, but basically it's for wade fishers. You push this down, you stick it in there, and then I've decided to use it on a kayak, where if I catch any fish and I want to keep them, I string them up, put it in here. Don't make me a liar. There we go. And then now you pull it, it does not come out, right? So that's what I'm using that for. Got my front rod holder here because I do need one up front to dock my rod as I unhook fish, if I do ever catch fish again. Got my speed controller here that I built. Basically is an extended PWM along with the voltmeter. This is the smallest waterproof case I could find, so the wires are extended through hole and they are connected via harness to my trolling motor. Got the nice Hobie seat, and I always keep a Yeti. I forgot what this pack is called, but it's velcroed and it's waterproof. I just keep this to keep my belongings in on the back of the seat. Outside of that, moving along, I have my crate right here where I keep stuff in. I just dumped a bunch of fishing stuff in here right now, but normally I don't have all this junk in here. Right here is, obviously with a trolling motor you need a safety device. to basically stop the motor. So I have this to hook to my life jacket, and it's bolted right here and into one of these rails. And this is the secondary rail that you can purchase. Normally this is a bungee cord, but I decided to buy the rails and install them here because I felt like having extra rails was more beneficial than having extra bungee. So I have that here, and then I have this mounted here, so like if, for example, I am trolling along and I fall out of my kayak, it'll just pull up, power stopped, and get back in, and I can just put it back in. I still need to bolt it down some more, but that's where it's going to go. It's probably the best place I could find to mount it. Going back to the other side, what else? As you can see here, I have a cleat, and this cleat here is going all the way to the back through some eyelets right here. As you can see, there's 3 of them, and that just goes back to my trolling motor back there, and I'll get to that in a second. But basically the idea is when I want to let the trolling motor down, just uncleat it, drop it, it's already adjusted to the length, and then when I want to bring it back up, you just pull it, as you can see, and then cleat it, and it's up. Right, so moving right along in the back, got my fishing net here, just some rod holders that I threw on the back of the crate using tie straps, and here is my other paddle holder in the back. And as I move along to the back, as you can see, I have my trolling motor back here. This is a brushless trolling motor, which makes it very, very light. It probably weighs less than my power pole that I used to use on my old kayak, which I do still have, by the way, but it's very light. And just to give you an idea of how this works, basically when I get to the water, I pulled the C-clip out in the actual shaft, and I just put in a replacement shaft. That way when I get to the water, I just basically unclip it, pull it out, and now I'm disconnected. Actually, I forgot to take this off. Now I'm disconnected, right? And I have this harness kind of to where I can just unscrew over there and plug in right there by the kill switch. And when I get back to the water, or before I get on the water, I just put this through the top right there, put it in, let it down, boom, and that's pretty much it. I don't use reverse, so. And if you can see here, I also have my mount. This is a motor mount that I bought. I think it's a Brocraft. Yeah, it's a Brocraft mount. Pretty sturdy, awesome design. It just bolts right in place of the power pole mount, so that's what I decided to go with. Pretty easy setup, works well. Tighten that down because I had it loose. All right, and moving right along, got another rod holder on this side, and as I said, I have my 12-volt trolling motor plug here going into my kill switch for the trolling motor, and then there's the extensions of the harness right here. And so what I do is when I want to take that off, I just unscrew these, unplug. As you can see, this one is for the LED and the other one is for the controls. So one has 2 pins, the other one has 5. So put it back on, and then I put this one back in. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, and then I take my plug, and obviously I'll have the wires ran neater than this, but I'll take my plug it in. As you can see here, my trolling motor started beeping already, and as you can see right here, I got my voltmeter. Go ahead and turn it, you guys can hear it. Motor's going, as you can see. Go ahead and pull the kill switch. Pow! And that is pretty much it for my setup. I'll probably give more details on how I did the trolling motor in another video, but that's pretty much it. I am back in the Hobie. I will use my solo skiff, like I said, that I have right here. I just haven't used it lately because I've been fishing with friends that have kayaks, and then on top of that, I haven't felt like really toting the heavy thing on the back of my truck to the fishing ground. So, but yeah, until next time, stay tuned.